At Cannington on Saturday night, we have 3 heats of the WA Derby, and David Hobby looks to have a strong hand heading into this series. He has a trio of Barshabal, Flake Manelli chasers engaged in this series, headlined, of course, by Crumble Manelli. Hello, my name is James Broadhurst. Welcome to the Wednesday preview, and joining me, as he always does, is the Regal race caller himself, Hayden King. Hayden, how are you? That moustache, I'd have to say, has come along resplendently there, or maybe not. How are you?
Well, I was well until you reduced my moustache to being something.
Is it? It has. Have you experienced growth in the past week or so?
I think so.
I don't know.
Are we talking physically or mental growth? Either way, I'm pleased with the progress, and that's all that matters.
All right, well, let us know in the comments below.
Don't.
If you think Hayden King's moustache...
Don't destroy my ego. What's left of it.
Okay, all right. Of course, looking forward to this Derby series.
Yeah, looks a good series, particularly highlighted by that greyhound you've already mentioned. He's achieved some lofty things in his short career in greyhound racing already, and he looks set to answer them. He looks like he's going to be the pre-post favourite. He has to be the favourite at this stage.
Absolutely. All right, well, before we have a look at that series, we've also got chasing here at Cannington on Friday night, 12 races on the card. Hayden, you wanted to have a look at race 6 here. This is the investinthechase.com provincial grade 5 over the 520 metre journey. Thought this was a tough race to pick. We've got leg press here in box 3. Comes out of that Mandurah Oaks final, which was, of course, abandoned. But been a handy young chase, as you noted, Hayden, a week or so ago. She's definitely on the improve. Looking at some of the other dogs here, Harley Manelli has only won twice from 13 starts over this distance, but will finish strongly and could feature here. Can't really pick out many others here. What was it about this race you liked, and what do you think about this one?
I just thought it was interesting that leg press was included, and we do have those dogs returning from the Oaks last week that was abandoned up there at Mandurah. So it's interesting how they'll come through that race. Leg press does look pretty hard to beat. I guess if leg press was not on the top of her game, you've got others like Ryan's Deal. I think will go better than last start, particularly down toward the inside with the draws, because he showed up early there on the turn, the first turn last time out on Sunday, and he just faded out of it after copping a little bit of interference there. So he'll go better if he can show up and hold a forward spot into that first bend. And then others like Harley Manelli that you have touched on has a pretty good personal best here, 29 and 83. If he was able to produce that, he should be winning the race. So there are a few dogs that are sort of around the place, and they're probably on their mark, but they're going okay, that could capitalise if things went pear-shaped with a couple of the others, and there are a couple who do need to lift. But it shapes as an intriguing race, if nothing else.
Potentially an interesting betting race there on Friday night. All right, let's swing our attention to Saturday night. Of course, these 3 heats of the WA Derby. In the first one, we've got Red Shill jumping out of box 1. Of course, that dog's also racing the Wednesday night, which is tonight. We've got Custard Manelli out of box 2. Have a chat about him in a moment. Weston Odie snapped a 6-race losing sequence with an all-the-way win last Tuesday. Eugenius, not sure how, but this dog's only won once in his career to date, but also has only missed a podium finish once from 9 career starts. I do like him, just hasn't been able to find a way to win as much as he probably should have so far. Wanted to get your thoughts though, Hayden, on Custard Manelli. He hasn't won in 6 starts, but of course during that period he was 3rd in the Golden Easter Egg, which was a massive race. Been a place getter in both races since he's come back to WA, and both those times have been over 30 seconds. Look, the drop back to age-restricted company is a big benefit for him this week. I think he probably comes out and wins this one. But what do you make of this chaser overall? He's a good dog at the moment, I think, but is he capable of becoming a great dog? He's got that potential, maybe. We haven't quite seen it yet.
Well, I think he has lived in Crumble Manelli's shadow so far, despite being a Group 1 place getter himself. I think he'll go better this week. I think we'll see a better product from him this time out, and he'll be very hard to beat Custard Manelli. There are a few unknowns in the race. Red Shell's coming up from 380. This dog has plenty of early speed, just a bit weak over the 520 at this stage, and goes around long odds tonight, so you expect it to be long odds on Saturday. West on Odie was good, winning last time out. This is a big step up again. West on Outlaws, a bit of an unknown quantity. First time up to 520 metres. That fitness is going to prove problematic, I feel. And then you've got others like Dandelup Jasper, who's probably just a rung below this level at this stage, but very capable of winning a race in the near future. Eugenius is a handy dog. He is going well, and he continues to get better each time he goes out there. So he's one that I will be following closely, and he does look the chief threat to Custard Manelli. And then Travers Mania is going to find it hard from box number 8. But Custard, he, despite not winning recently, has the runs on the board, and for that reason he is going to be the one to beat.
Yeah, definitely the one to beat there in the first heat. Before we have a look at the field for the second heat, let's go back and relive the maiden victory of Kenya Kraken from last Wednesday. This is him jumping out of box 2. He begins well on the way to a 5:50 first section. Now bear in mind he clocked 5:39 in a quali trial a week earlier. He's able to snare the lead in this one, and from that point onwards he has the race to himself and goes on to score comfortably in 29.88.
Though Kenya Kraken doing everything nicely and goes on and scores by a length and a half on Van der Harley.
So that was a nice win there from Kenya Kraken to open his account. Of course, comes into this second heat. He's jumping out of box 8 here. I'm sure they would have loved another run or two under the belt of this greyhound before he went into a series like this, but you play the hand you dealt with, and he's in there, and he's certainly got a chance here. Some of the other dogs engaged here. Sneaky Peaky, handy maiden win at his third attempt last week. Spider Venom has shown strength and won over the 600 2-back. Pudding Manelli, another one of these Barsha Bale Flake Manelli dogs, ran 29.51 at the start of April and hasn't been able to replicate that in 5 starts since when he won 3 in a row leading up to that PB. Looked like he might be a breakthrough dog. It hasn't quite kicked on just yet, but obviously the talent's there. What do you think about him in this race? And I guess the same question I asked with Custard Manelli ongoing for this dog.
Yeah, well, if he was able to produce that personal best, Pudding Manelli, he would be winning this race. That was an exceptional time, 29.51. However, his recent form is good without being stunning, and for that reason I'm happy to side with the unknown quantity, I guess, in Kenya Kraken.
Okay.
I think a box 8 kind of works out well for him in the sense that he doesn't have too much action around him from the outside, and given his inexperience that might be a little bit too much too soon. But drawn box number 8, he gets that chance to use all that early speed that he clearly has, because he ran that brilliant first section in the quali trial, and then despite not being quite so fast last week was still able to muster up lead, and he ended up running a faster time, which suggests there's still more to come.
Big upside I think with that dog, yeah.
And he's going to be one we can watch going forward. So for that reason I do think Kenya Kraken is the one to beat. Others in the race, you mentioned Pudding Manelli, who is going well. Tearaway Toby, Sneaky Peaky, they're stepping up big time. Sneaky Peaky was always going to win a maiden very soon. He hadn't had much luck, and he was well thought of in the betting at those first 2 cracks, and then he bolted in here on Saturday. Spider Venom is another one that just requires that bit of luck, and you have to get him on his right night. Probably needs something to go wrong with one of the 2 bigger guns, and then West on Mortar and Dusty Deluxe, who are going okay. But I think Kenya Kraken, he certainly has that scope to improve, and he's the one I want to be with.
He does look pretty exciting. Is the case with Pudding Manelli, maybe also with Custard Manelli, given what Crumble Manelli's done, we're just expecting the same from those dogs, when really what Crumble Manelli's done has been exceptional? Is that, do we expecting too much from them?
I don't think we're expecting too much. I think we're actively responding to what we've seen from them, because we have seen Custard Manelli, as I mentioned, Group 1 place getter. We've seen Pudding Manelli run really slick times.
Yeah.
I don't think it's because they're related to Crumble Manelli that we're expecting so much. It's just that we've seen these freakish performances individually that perhaps haven't been surrounded by the same quality of efforts, but they've shown that talent in those one-off appearances that suggest hey, this dog is a potential top liner.
All right, well, speaking of their star sibling, Crumble Manelli, he goes around in the third heat, gets the pole. With respect to the other dogs in the field here, Hayden, do we need to look past him in this race? Dandelup Blazer, of course, with last start winner. Look, I like My Time, maybe not as much as you like My Time. The dog's in good form, but can he pull off an upset here? Can any of these other pull off an upset in this race against Crumble Manelli from the pole, no less?
Doubtful. Crumble Manelli should lead, should win. He's become very reliable from the start, and that sets up his victories because he has that really great change-up speed, and he's a tremendous machine once he gets into action, and he'll take no end of beating if that's how the race develops. The only way they can beat him is if he does miss the start quite notably. Then you've got dogs like My Time,
and he hasn't really ever done that.
No.
He has taken a step or two to get going, but I don't think there's ever been an occasion where he's actually blown the start.
But he has such incredible speed that oftentimes it hasn't mattered. He's been able to recover that deficit and still win. So he's pretty foolproof, Crumble Manelli, and for that reason he's the number one seed. My Time has become a winner in recent times, and that's what you like to see. He's got a good attitude and drawn the outside. It's not going to be an easy task to get across the rest, but you'd probably put him as the most likely to run second at this stage. Dandelup Blazer, last start winner, have to respect that, but it's going to be hard work. Arocka Nui goes around tonight, has been consistently in the placings, and then Western Gecko, Maximum Carnage, who are handy dogs in their own right. They're going well. Their numerical form reads well, but they just come up against a budding star. Yeah, and a superstar, in fact. All right, they are the three heats of the WA Derby at Cannington on Saturday night. We're also racing at Cannington tonight, 5 nights a week at Cannington at the moment. Of course, free entry on all of those race meetings. What's your best bet for the Wednesday meeting, tonight's meeting, Hayden? Race 10, number 1, Sand Patch. This dog has been racing with little luck.
Okay.
I sense a sigh.
Well, we'll get to that in a moment.
Okay. Well, Sand Patch, this dog has plenty of ability, just has been racing without much luck in recent times, and I think tonight from box number 1 she can position up nice and close and be very hard to beat. So race 10, number 1, Sand Patch.
Well, my best bet's also in race 10, Hayden, and the sigh was that we are going head to head again. And
I think I should be sighing for you because unfortunately, James, you're on a loser.
Well, we'll see. I was about to say you haven't learnt.
I don't even care who you've tipped. Sand Patch.
All right, Sand Patch is going to win. Well, I think the dog jumping out of box 7, Disco Daisy, a dog that I think won for me one of the other times that we went head to head in the past. Look, I've been impressed with this greyhound. This dog is Oaks bound, and I think she will lead this one, even though she's got the wide draw. And if she leads this one off and away, I think she'll give the Oaks a big shake as well.
What if Sand Patch is bang there on her hammer?
Well, that might be interesting, yes. But get to the lead first. That's a big advantage just in that stage. But yes, if something sits on her, we'll see. But I like her for this one.
She can still run 29.80 something, Disco Daisy. I just think Sand Patch we haven't seen the best of yet, and is quite a handy dog.
All right, well, I'm ready to resume hostilities, Hayden. We'll see. Tonight, that's race 10. Okay, plenty of action ahead of us. Looking forward to these heats of the Derby. Can Crumble Manelli add to his resume over the next couple of weeks? And of course, we've got the Oaks heats following week as well. So plenty to look forward to over the coming weeks. Hopefully see you down at the track. If not, we'll catch you next week on the Wednesday preview.